Well, happy Wednesday. Welcome, everyone. Glad that you are here. And I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to jump in. We are going live here on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well as YouTube. So, giving just everybody a few minutes to connect in with us as you are joining in. Leave me a note in the comments where you're tuning in from. And happy to see where everyone is. If you're catching this on the replay, make sure that you use hashtag replay for any comments. That way I will know that you caught it on the replay. Also, it would be really helpful too if you would tag me, and that way it shows up in my notifications and I can make sure that I address any questions here that you may leave in the comments. Okay, and one other housekeeping. If you're joining us from Facebook, real important, and you want to leave a comment, I need for you to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give Facebook and StreamYard permission to speak to each other. Otherwise, when you leave your comment, it just shows up Facebook user, and I don't know who you are, and that feels really awkward having to call you Facebook user instead of by your name. So again, that's StreamYard.com/Facebook. So hopefully we are fully connected with everyone. And if I am new to you and you are new to me, my name is Beverly Smith. I am the founder of Career Success Strategies, and I'm the former owner of a staffing and recruiting firm. So I know firsthand what hiring managers are looking for, and I use that knowledge now to work with mid and senior level professionals to build their resumes as well as work with them on their job search strategies so that they can land the career of their dreams. So last week, we talked all about how to cultivate a positive mindset. It was a really great episode, especially going into 2024. I shared with you 5 tools that I personally use to help myself stay positive. And I really recommend that you grab a pen and pencil and go, or pen and paper, and go back and check the replay. Really good information there. And, staying positive it's a work in progress. And some people do tend to be more positive than others. And some of us have to work at being that way. And so definitely you want to go and check that out. You can catch the replay on my YouTube channel. I'm going to make a little adjustment to my microphone here because it's trying to turn around on me. Sorry, guys. I know you love seeing my hands come across the screen like that. Okay, I think that we're good. Let's see. My YouTube channel is at Beverly Smith Runs, and you can go, if you click over on the live tab, all of my videos are there. All of my live stream videos are there. So now, though, that we have entered into 2024, you may have decided that one of your goals this year is to make a change. Perhaps you are looking to change companies or change roles within your current company or even change careers. So today is going to be a great episode for you. Again, you want to probably grab a pen and paper because I'm going to give you a roadmap on where you should start. And real quick, I'm just going to pop over and make sure there's no questions in the chat. If you have questions, I will check that from time to time. So go ahead and drop those in the chat for me. And as I want to be sure that we have time to address those during this live stream. So again, having a roadmap is so important as you begin your job search. And it's just like, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a strategy. And if you don't have one, it's going to take you twice as long to find that job. I mean, it's anything else in life. You're not going to just throw something up there and hope it sticks. Like if you want to run a marathon, you have to have a plan. You have to have a training plan that you're going to follow and work through. The same thing is true. And let me be clear, one thing that is not a strategy is just to go and apply to a bunch of job postings if you see something that intrigues you. That's not a strategy. I guess technically it may be. It's not going to be a successful strategy. And we'll dive a little bit more into that as we go on. So, the first thing in building out your roadmap, you really need to get clear on what it is you want to do. So you want to ask yourself some strategic questions. And the first one, number one, is what type of roles are you targeting? Guys, if you are not clear here, then you can't really begin to move forward. I tell my prospective clients this all the time in our complimentary consultations. You've got to know what it is that you want to do. You've got to know what that target role is before we can even work together to build you an effective resume and to come up with a good job search strategy. So, getting clear is going to be huge. And number two, speaking of getting clear on this, you want to get clear as well as on the value that you bring to the table. What are your strengths? Under what circumstances do you work best? Sorry about that little phone ring. Going to silence that real quick. Under what circumstances do you work best? And when is it that you truly feel like you're in your zone of genius? So asking these questions, what are your strengths? Under what circumstances do you work your best? When do you feel like you're working in your zone of genius? These questions are actually going to help you better answer the first question, what type of role are you targeting if you don't know? It's also going to help you get a little bit more clear, even if you do know what role you're targeting. It's going to help you get clear on really understanding the value that you bring to the table. So, if in fact you can take something that you can do when you answer these questions, what are your strengths? What are skills that you're are strong at? What are things that you really enjoy doing? You can actually take those things and throw them into AI like ChatGPT and ask it. Say, okay, someone like me who's good at this, this, and this, what types of jobs should I look at? What matches up well to my strengths and my skills? And let it kind of give you some information there, and you can use that to start honing in on what those target roles are. Third, real important, know what you don't want to do. So it's real important. There may be things from your current role or past roles that you definitely have skills and experience in, but they just don't align well. Or maybe, I guess what I'm trying to say is they don't align well with you're being in your zone of genius or even with your strengths. I mean, you may, just because you can do something does not necessarily mean that's a strength of yours. So, you know, just for example, in my past business, we had recruiters that worked for us. And a lot of times they would come in and think, oh, I'm just going to be talking with people and interviewing people and helping match them up. And what they didn't realize was there was actually a lot of client facing parts to that role, a lot of what some people might call sales or marketing in that role, because you might get a good candidate and knowing how to match them up involved marketing that. And some of them were like, ooh, I'm not really good at that. And so knowing that, knowing what things no longer serve you, that you don't want to do, again, knowing these can help give you clarity on what your next role is. Number 4, another thing is, what are your salary expectations and are they realistic? Um, if you want to make a transition, there's a possibility you may have to take a pay cut to maybe start a little bit lower to move back up. Can you afford to do that? Are your salary requirements going to limit you to only taking certain positions? And you need to make sure that you understand that before you really dive too far into a job search and incorporate that as part of your strategy. So it's important to do the research, know what the market's going to bear in your particular area of the country or your state and your locality, and be really clear on that. Number 5, the 5th thing is, in this whole first step to building your roadmap, is you need to look at what are your options. Is relocation an option for you? Is working remote something that is a must-have? Or are you willing to take a hybrid role where maybe you work sometime in the office and sometimes you work remote? Or possibly you're full-time working 100% in the office of that company. Know what is a must-have for you. And it may be that you're open to all of them. It just depends on the right opportunity. So having a really good clarity on what roles that you're looking for, what opportunities you're looking for, can help you narrow that down and understand, hey, working remote is not even an option with this type of role because there's so much being in front of clients. And it may be that you don't actually work within the office. Maybe you do have a home office, but you are very forward facing with clients and you're out visiting clients on a regular basis. And so understanding those things beforehand is going to help you build out that roadmap. So the second thing in building your roadmap is, and before I get into that, let me check the chat to see if anybody has any questions. I don't see anything so far. Again, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in. Like I said, I'm going to be checking those. So next thing in building your roadmap, who are the companies that hire people like you? Knowing this is going to help you reach your goals faster. And this is where I like to work with my clients to use job boards to do intel. So you can use the job boards, whether it's LinkedIn or Indeed, Monster, some of all these different job boards, to learn more about what types of roles there are. You can take that list that you got from ChatGPT of possible roles and just do searches and see what roles come up. Then read the job description. Some of them will have salary requirements, some of them, or salary ranges, not requirements. But then you can also take that information and go and research what salary ranges are if they don't have that. But so I really think that this will help you identify target companies, because then you can take some of the companies that you're seeing that maybe look a little bit intriguing and you can start researching them. Go to their websites, do a search on LinkedIn and look at what they are putting out there as far as um, their regular postings. What kind of content are they posting? What's their culture look like? What are people, go to Glassdoor? What are people saying about them that have worked for them? Another thing that you can do is put those companies in a Google alert and get alerts for every time that company shows up in the media, and you can learn more about it that way. And while I'm on the lines there with Google Alerts, I'm going to recommend something. This is kind of digressing a little bit, but it is related to your job search. I really recommend you create a separate email account for your anything related to job search. And I recommend you do that through Gmail. And then just make sure that you're checking that regularly, making sure nothing is going into the spam folders. But Gmail is really easy to check that way. Also, it's going to keep that, if you're using a personal account that maybe you sign up for a bunch of coupons and or you get your kids' soccer notifications on or school notifications, it's going to keep that stuff separate and make it easier for you to follow your job search. And of course, obviously, signing up for a Google alert, it makes that a lot easier if you're using a Gmail account. So just sidebar there. So the other thing too is follow those companies that you're interested in on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, if you haven't noticed this, but at the top right corner underneath their picture, they have a little bell, and you can click that bell and get notifications anytime they post. And I recommend you do that so that you can interact, because believe it or not, their algorithms show that, and the recruiters are alerted to when you are interacting. You can also, some of them will have the opportunity for you to click a notification that lets recruiters know that you're interested in working for those companies. So recruiters are more likely to work out for you. On a side note, make sure you have your profile knocked out before you really start connecting with these companies and you start engaging with them, because you will attract their attention, and you want, when they go to your profile, you want them to be able to look at your profile and know what type of job candidate you are, what type of positions you're seeking. And I will put a link to this in the comments, but you can download my LinkedIn Success Blueprint checklist. I'm going to grab that real quick and put that in the comments. And this is definitely going to help you. Okay, there it goes. Hopefully, okay. Yeah, looks like it's showing up. That is going to help you if you will download that. There is a checklist on there that walks you through the exact steps you need to take to get your profile knocked out, and then talks about some of the things we're talking about here as far as engaging with target companies and things like that. Plus, I've got some videos that are attached to that checklist as well. So make sure that you go and download that, grab that link and download that. So, let me jump back up here to where I was. Sorry about that. Okay. So the other thing, while you are on their profile, look at the people that are working there and see who those people are. Are there any people that you're already connected with? And are there people that maybe you have second degree connections with that you could go connect with and follow them and get notified on when they post and engage with their post and things like that. That is another thing. So recruiters also, they notice if you are connected with people that work at the company. And just a little secret is, people, when they're hiring, they like to hire people that are referrals to them. Maybe someone in the company knows them, or maybe someone that has some sort of affiliation with the company. A friend of a friend knows somebody. And they really are going to start there before they're going to go look more broad. So real important, those connections are important for you as well. So third step in developing your roadmap, once you know what that target role is and you know who some of your target companies are, you can begin to craft your resume. And actually, this step could come above targeting different companies, but it is a step that's important, that you have to go through the process of identifying and knowing and targeting the roles that you want first. Like I mentioned earlier, I tell people when I'm working with them, prospective clients, if you don't know what that is, it's going to be real hard for you or hard for us to craft a resume for you. But when you know the value that you bring to the table. You know what skills that you're good at. You know the roles that you're interested in. This is going to make it a lot easier. And obviously, as a resume writer or an owner of a resume writing company, I'm a little bit biased. I do believe the ROI is definitely worth it. And having a quality marketing document and documents that are going to help you articulate your abilities, your values, and show prospective employers the fit that you are for their role. So a well-written resume is actually a marketing document, um, and it's real estate is precious. And it should not be full of fluffy and meaningless words. So real important that you substantiate any accomplishments and results that distinguish you from other candidates. So let's talk about the things that you accomplished in your career, the results that you got, but also that juicy middle. How did you do that? Those are the things, y'all, that make you unique, that are part of the value that you bring to the table. So whether you work with me or another resume writer, know that it could dramatically speed up the time that it takes for you to land a new role. And in my case, I offer services that go much deeper into the job search process. So, just as a reminder, I do work with mid and senior level professionals. And if you would like to book a complimentary consultation, let me drop a link to my calendar in the chat real quick. And I will also check to see if we have any questions. Not seeing anything at this time. So, again, if you have watched this and questions come to mind, use hashtag replay and ask your questions there and tag me in it. So I'll be sure to find that and be able to answer your questions for you. So I will be back next week with a guest. We have Dr. Janine Bennett joining us again. You may remember she joined us back in November, and we talked about some other job search strategies. Really good. You can find that video as well on my YouTube page. Go to @Beverly Smith Resumes, and it was in November. Scroll back, look for Dr. Janine Bennett. It's really good. But tomorrow, next week, she's going to be on with us at 12:30 Central Standard Time. I'm so excited because we have a special surprise for you, and I can't wait. I'm very fortunate to have been asked to be part of a project that she worked on in Q3 and Q4 of last year. And we're going to be rolling that out here in a couple of weeks. So you're going to get a sneak peek at what that project is. And I promise it's going to be so exciting. You're going to want to be here. And so I will look forward to seeing you next week on our live stream with Dr. Janine Bennett. Again, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year, you guys, and I'll see you next week.